Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Stephanie. This is the week 27 July, nope, June the 30th through July the 6th weekly wrap up. As I said, this is the week 27, June the 30th till July the 6th, a weekly wrap up, and this is where I talk about all the books that I read last week and how they sort of connect, if I did a readathon or anything like that, which last week I didn't do any readathons. It was the end of the week or end of the month and beginning of the month, preparing all those cool videos. If you haven't checked out my my mid-year freak out tag, make sure you go over and do that, because I give you a little bit of a peek into what I have been loving at the beginning of this year, how many books I actually read already this year. I give you that number. Interestingly enough, it's about 64% into my Goodreads reading goal. But let's talk about what I did read last week. Last week was a pretty good week. I read 6 books, and I started off the week reading Sweet Enough to Eat by Alexa Riley. This is an erotic short story, and I give it 4 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans, and I read it as an ebook. This is a really short novella spin-off from one of their other books. You met these characters before. This is Nikki and Dean's story on how they sort of evolved from their closet meeting from Wedding Cake Crasher, and how they ended up in a relationship and what happened with them afterwards. It was fun, it was sexy, it was just on point, and I really enjoyed it. The next book that I finished was Obsessed, which is Tangled Web number 2 by Aleatha Roman, and I place this in romantic suspense. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I actually listened to this on audiobook because I didn't receive an ARC version of it. I received a signed copy. I tried to read the signed copy, but I didn't want to bend my pages, so I waited until it was released, which it was released last week, and I got it immediately on audiobook, and I listened to it, and oh my goodness, woo, this is the second book in this series, or in this trilogy, and I need to know more. There were some things that I had an inkling about, that I sort of knew was going to happen, or was thinking that, you know, this is how things were going to play out. And they did sort of play out that way, but at the same time, there were so many good twists and turns and stuff like that. Aleatha really did a really good job, in my opinion, of bringing in sort of some of the medical, I guess, feelings that you would have with a romantic suspense, and sort of the darkness and taboo sort of topics that go along with this type of situation. I can't give you too much information because it is the second book and I don't want to spoil anything for you, but it still follows Laurel and Kader, and it was so good. So very good. Oh my goodness. The next book that I read was Getting Played by Emma Chase, and this is a contemporary. I give it 4.5 stars. I give it 3 Steam fans. I listened to it on audiobook, and this book follows Dean and Lainey. Dean is a drummer, math teacher, football coach, and he meets Lainey while he's out on the road on his band's summer tour, what have you. They have a one-night stand, and they sort of feel each other, like really feel each other, can't get each other off their minds and stuff like that. Well, come to find out, they end up living in the same small town, and he can't get her off of her mind, and starts to sort of see her around town, but it can't be her because there's some other things that are going on. And I just really enjoyed it. I laughed out loud. I mean, I started this book super early on, I want to say like Thursday morning, so for 4th of July, and we were all home, and I was starting this book, and I was like, ooh, this is quite sexy for this early in the morning. Oh my. And then it got to these laugh out loud moments that were just hilarious. I ended up waking up my husband because I was laughing. I couldn't contain the fun, sweet, and just hilarious moments that they had. So it was so good, and I really, really enjoyed it. I look forward to possibly getting more stories from this little town, and I think it would be cool. The next book that I finished was When She's Ready by Ruby Dixon, and I place this in erotic sci-fi short stories. I give it 5 stars. I give it 5 Steam fans. I listened to it on the podcast of Read Me Romance, and yes, so I have been a Ruby Dixon fan since I found the Fire Blood Dragon series, and I was super excited to know that she was going to do a short story for the podcast. I started listening to it and was like, okay, I'm here for this. This is Tazar and Leilani's story. So the thing with Ruby Dixon is that she does a really, really good job at giving us female characters that are very empowered and very independent, and then we have alpha male characters that mix in with the two, and you would think that it wouldn't match because, you know, 2 alphas going at it, but no, they do. And in this story, Tazar is an ex-convict alien, and he has to like move and get married so that he can stay out of prison, and Leilani has to get married so that she can keep her farm because these other aliens are trying to take it over. And ooh, I just really, really enjoyed it, and I was so there for it. Totally there for it. The next book that I finished was Daddy Me by Dukey and Webster. This is an erotic novella, and I give it 4 stars. I give it 4 Steam fans. I read this as an ARC. It releases in the next couple days, I believe. And this book follows Ronan and Sophia. So Ronan is a music executive, and he's trying to find the next star because he has a music company. Sophie is a aspiring musician, and she has this brother that's very overprotective. This does deal with the daddy kink, so if you're not into that, then you may not find enjoyment in it. But I found that it had a great balance of that contemporary feel or eroticness that balanced out the kink. So both of them sort of played together. Her need to be a, you know, real musician, and his need to take care of her, and then the whole you're going to be my little girl and I'm going to be your daddy sort of mixing together. The next book that I finished reading was, or the last book that I finished reading was Eversea by Natasha Boyd. I'm placing this in a new adult, and I give this book 3 stars. I give it 2 Steam fans, and I listened to it on audiobook. This book had me sort of, I think I'm in the unpopular opinion for this book. I've had this book on my shelf for a while that I needed to read it and really sort of digest it, and I wanted more from it because the majority of this book is from Carrie Ann, our female character's perspective. She came off really, really whiny to me, and so the story revolves around Jack, who is a movie star, and Carrie Ann, who is a small-time girl that is staying in town because her brother is off at school, and she's trying to take care of the family business or family home that was left to her when their parents unexpectedly died, and he was the one that was allowed to go off and do things, and she had to stay back and take care. And it was just like, woe is me, you know, I'm super young, but I have to stay and take care of the house and revamp the house and things like that. And I'm just like, whew, okay. Very, very woe is me. But lo and behold, this one night, this movie star comes in the town, and my best friend is so in love with him and knows all the movie gossip and celebrity gossip about him, and I keep it a secret from her, and it was very wishy-washy. And then when they do sort of get together, and you know, explore what they have, they're broken apart by a stupid, stupid reason. And I'm just like, did that really just happen? Really? And then at the end of the book, you get sort of Jack's perspective on everything. And I'm just like, dude, really? I kind of wanted his perspective throughout the entire story. So I'm glad that it is the second book. So I've already gotten the next book so that I can take a listen to it and, you know, see if he can be redeemed, maybe, hopefully, or the story can pick up and be redeemed. But at this point, I was just like, ugh, okay, I'm over it. Kind of find myself a little bored with it. Okay, so what am I currently reading? I am currently still reading Demon You Love by L.A. Fiore. I just haven't really had a chance, or I've been really into the audiobook, so reading ebook has been like a challenge for me. And I'm also reading Wine and Dine by L.B. Dunbar, which is part of her Over 40 series of males, Silver Foxes. I'm here for it. Yes. I'm reading it for a project that I am doing, and as well as I just love having older characters in the books that I read, because then I can relate to them just a little bit more, because I am in that age group. So, have you read any of the books that I have just talked about? Are you excited about any of the books that I talked about? Are you going to go out and check them out? Let me know down in the comment section. As always, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Also, there is a feedback form down in the description box, so you guys can help me improve my channel. Thank you for watching, and we will see you guys later.